Social reactions to Pilar Sanders' game day outfit tell us less about fashion and more about how sports culture, social media, and gendered expectations collide when someone who isn't a player steps into the spotlight. The viral debate, some fans praising her look as stunning and supportive, others calling it inappropriate, is predictable in today's environment, but unpacking it reveals recurring themes: double standards for women, especially mothers of athletes, ageism, performative outrage, and the way tribal fandom amplifies every small incident into a culture war headline. First, the core dynamic. Athletes' family members are not just private people anymore. When a son like Shedeur Sanders is a trending topic, his parents become public figures by proxy. Cameras, clips, and social feeds turn sideline appearances into content. That means any visible choice, outfit, reaction, gesture is ripe for instant commentary. The people who cheer will cheer loudly. The critics will look for reasons to scold. That's the basic mechanics of virality. But there's also an unfair gender overlay. Male relatives who show up looking sharp rarely get the same moral scrutiny. A dad in a flashy suit draws funny uncle tweets. A mom in a stylish ensemble draws comments about inappropriate behavior or questions about parenting. Those reactions are rooted in long-standing social expectations about decorum that are applied unevenly and often harshly to women. Ageism and respectability politics also play a big role. Some critics framed objections as, "I would be embarrassed if my 60-year-old mom acted like that," which sounds like a generational morality argument. But that's selective. When older men act flamboyant, it's often spun as charm or swagger. When women do it, the language swiftly slides into too much, attention-seeking, or not maternal. That double standard matters because it's not just one person's opinion. Those kinds of pithy social media reactions accumulate into a broader narrative that can affect sponsorships, media coverage, and even a player's mental load. There's also the sports fan tribalism angle. Social networks are organized around in-groups: Browns fans, rival fans, neutral pundits, cultural commentators. Each group interprets an image through its own lens. For supporters, Pilar's look is proof of fandom, poise, and family pride. For others, it's an opportunity to gatekeep acceptable behavior. That's why we see polarized replies: effusive praise on one side, moralizing scorn on the other. The algorithms amplify both, creating the false impression of a consensus either way when reality tends to be more mixed. Another layer is the intersection of celebrity culture and sport. Deion Sanders' family has long been part of the spectacle around Coach Prime. The Sanders clan carries a brand: stylish, media-savvy, attention-grabbing. When a well-known family leans into that identity, some people celebrate it as confident self-expression, others resent it as performative celebrityism. That's partly envy, partly ideological. Some sports fans prefer a workmanlike image of football culture and bristle at glitz. Both responses are human. The key is understanding that celebrity families live in a different social economy, where appearance is part of influence. What does this mean practically? For Pilar, for Shedeur, for the Browns, and for the media? For Pilar and family members, if you're comfortable with the spotlight, lean into it on your terms. Expect noise. Plan for it. If a sideline outfit is important because it represents pride or personal branding, accept that some fans will react negatively. It's not a reflection of your parenting or your son's focus unless there's evidence otherwise. For Shedeur specifically, his job is to play, and his reaction matters more than his mother's outfit. The best teammates and coaches will ignore the sideshow. That's what protects performance. For teams and PR staffs, have a simple protocol. When a non-player moment turns viral, offer a short, supportive message that focuses on the player, e.g., proud of Shedeur's performance tonight, and avoid escalating the culture war debate. Teams don't gain much by wading into aesthetics arguments. If necessary, a neutral reminder about respecting families works better than defensive press statements. That protects the player from distraction and signals class. For the media, the ethical choice is to avoid sensationalizing wardrobe as news. Treat family members as people, not story fodder. If the outfit is genuinely tied to a larger narrative, e.g., a political statement or a formal protest, then it's newsworthy. Otherwise, it's social media clickbait. Journalists should resist framing a mother's appearance as a moral failure and instead focus on performance and context. More constructive coverage would examine the player's game, the coaching decisions, and the team's health rather than amplifying a stylistic disagreement. There are broader cultural takeaways too. This episode shows how quickly public opinion weaponizes small moments against women in sport-adjacent spaces. It's a reminder that the right public response is often to give people the benefit of the doubt and to check whether the uproar reflects structural biases. Are we criticizing a 60-year-old woman for seeking attention because we've implicitly decided that women should be invisible after a certain age? Or are we genuinely concerned about sportsmanship? Asking that clarifying question usually collapses the outrage. Finally, think about measurement. Is the item in question actually harming anyone? An outfit rarely does. Social media outrage has a short half-life. The real harm is if it distracts the athlete or becomes a persistent narrative that undermines their confidence. Teams and players can inoculate against that by controlling the conversation, emphasize performance, channel media attention to the field, and keep the locker room culture focused on daily work. In short, the viral debate over Pilar Sanders' outfit was predictable and unproductive. It illuminated familiar fault lines, gendered expectations, ageism, celebrity culture, and the amplification mechanics of social media. The healthiest way forward is to normalize the idea that family members will look how they want, to judge players on the field, not their relatives' wardrobes, and for media and fans to resist turning every visual moment into a moral referendum. Pilar Sanders stole some of the spotlight on Friday night, and not because of anything her son did on the field. While Shedeur Sanders turned heads with a strong preseason debut for the Cleveland Browns, his mother's game day outfit quickly became a viral topic, prompting a wave of online debate that split fans along predictable lines. On the field, the story was simple. Sanders, a fifth-round rookie who started because of injuries ahead of him on the depth chart, completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and two touchdowns in a 30-10 win over the Carolina Panthers. The performance drew praise from teammates, coaches, and celebrities alike, including LeBron James, and it gave Browns fans a hopeful glimpse into what the future could hold at quarterback. Off the field, Pilar Sanders drew attention for a bold outfit she wore to the stadium. Images and clips circulated almost immediately on social platforms, and the reaction was quick and loud. Some viewers criticized the look as inappropriate for a family-friendly sporting event. Others rushed to Pilar's defense, lauding her confidence, style, and support for her son. Supporters flooded social media with compliments, calling her stunning, gorgeous, and praising her for always showing up for her kids, while detractors offered judgmental takes about age and propriety. What unfolded was less about a fashion